The conversation about the Democratic Party today is about how they have lost the trust of the American people, how President Biden was untruthful about his health declines, how they chose Kamala Harris behind closed doors to be the nominee in the 2024 election, and how they've lost the trust of the people. But as someone who cares about policy, I think it's important to note that it's also that the Democrats have lost the trust of the American people on the issues that matter to them. Let's talk about this. In even on the issues that the Democrats historically have done well in, they've also ceded ground to the Republican Party on immigration and border security. In the last 10 years, since the post Obama era, Democrats have pulled far behind Republicans on immigration border security. They've been seen as too lenient and lacking of a clear plan. They've had major migrant surges under their watch. And with the rise of Trump, you have a huge contrast on this. Republicans historically have done better on immigration than Democrats. This was not the case under the Obama era, where Republicans were seen as obstructive of a bipartisan plan. Democrats were seen as more common sense on this issue. On the economy, due to inflation under the Biden administration, Democrats have lost a huge perception that they're in charge of the economy and they're capable of delivering for middle class people. You see middle class families voting Republicans over Democrats in the last election. Under Biden, we had a surging inflation and seemingly the Democrats out of touch with the American people. Biden shrugged it off until he realized that it was a major problem for people. Under the Obama era, after the post 2008 financial collapse, the Democrats were seen as problem solvers and capable of handling the economy and delivering for the American people. This has flipped. Trump is seen as the businessman who's capable of delivering results for people, while Democrats seem aloof on this issue. On crime and public safety, Democrats always trailed behind Republicans, but there was one carve out. Democrats were seen as capable of handling crime in urban settings. Democrats have ceded that in the post 2020 civil rights unrest, the George Floyd protest during COVID, and Democrats are seen as unable to be tough on crime. Republicans are always seen as the tough on crime party, but Democrats have lost all their ground. They've been tied to the defund the police platform, even though major party players are against the defund the police, but they are seen as weak on crime. On national security and foreign policy, Republicans have historically been seen as the party stronger on military strength, but Democrats were pulled not far behind them. This has flipped. The Democrats are really struggling on national security. This is mostly due, I believe, due to the Afghanistan withdrawal under Biden in August of his first year of his first term. After that, he never really retook positive polling results. Democrats are seen as overly cautious on foreign policy. This was not the case. Democrats were seen as very competent under Obama. And it's interesting in that now, with Trump's chaos with his global trade wars, you would think that Democrats could regain trust on this issue, as Trump seems to be losing trust on this issue. On handling of government itself, Democrats were historically much better than Republicans. Republicans were over the last 20 years, have been the party of shrinking government and in a cynical way and trying to create a government that is dysfunctional, while Democrats were trying to make a government that's functional for people. That is, Democrats are struggling on this issue. They are seen as overly bureaucratic and fiscally reckless, especially in blue states like New York and California, where the rest of the country looks at this and says they don't want that in their towns. This was a huge shift in the rise of the Tea Party and the post-Obama era, where blue states are not seen as positive role models for the rest of the country. On issues of freedom of speech and cancel culture, this is a newer issue, but the Republicans have completely dominated this issue relative to the Democrats. Democrats are seen as intolerant of dissent, particularly on college campuses, and and Republicans are definitely polling higher. Now, there's several issues where Democrats used to lead but are losing ground. One is education. Democrats used to have this as one of their strongest issues, but recent Republican pushes on curriculum, parental rights, and COVID lockdowns have made it so that the Democrats are polling weaker than or are polling weaker than Republicans on issues of education. On healthcare, Democrats still lead Republicans, but they are losing ground on this. They had a lot of trust after the passage of the Affordable Care Act, but as both parties kind of saw this as an issue that they're not going to gain momentum on, they both abandoned it, and Democrats have struggled on it. On race relations and civil rights and social justice, Democrats once held a commanding lead, but they are also struggling as independents and Latinos see them as more focused on identity than unity and progress. It is not just that the Democrats lack trust on from their party leaders. It is also on that the issues that matter to the people, the Democrats are losing ground.